Joburg's Market Theatre will kick off the 4th edition of its annual Jazzy July festival this month. The headline acts for this year's offering will be an all-woman lineup with SA jazz pianist Nomfundo Xaluva, Siya Makuzeni and R&B vocalist Ami Faku. The event marks the 45th anniversary of the Market Theatre as it seeks to revise jazz music in the Newtown precinct in Johannesburg. For more on this, let's bring in vocalist, composer and music producer Siya Makuzeni herself for a taste of what's to come. Siya, great to see you. Thanks for speaking to us on this Friday edition of the AM Report. First things first, it's called the Jazzy July, but it's happening in August. What's that about?
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. Yes, it is. It's called the Jazzy July, as it was, because this is part of a series that takes place. I think it's been going on for about 4 years now, and it's a celebration of jazz music which takes place every July at the Market Theatre. Unfortunately, with this year, there was an announcement which I think changed the levels of the lockdown. And so obviously that was partly the reason why they decided to rather postpone it and put it into August.
Makes sense. Still something to look forward to. Interesting decision to make it an all-woman lineup for this time around. In fact, I think it was James Noble, that's the name I'm looking for, who heads the Market Theatre, speaking about the recognition of women specifically in jazz music, especially after they introduced the Sophie Mgcina Awards in 2014. Do you get a sense that there is space growing specifically for women within jazz, or moves like this really aren't effective enough?
Absolutely. I think, if I'm looking at the trajectory of the last 4 years, probably even longer, not only has there been a movement in more women partaking in the jazz industry and actually being part of the scene, but I think that it's given them a lot of strength because people are learning to wear more than one hat, so just apart from them being included in the actual performance space, I'm seeing that a lot of people are taking agency in their power or being able to celebrate their skills as also business people, as people who run the things behind the scenes. So this is absolutely fantastic. But I don't think that it's anything that is new when it comes to Market Theatre. I will say, for instance, if I think of the show that I did with them in 2012, which was also a celebration of jazz music, that was a song of Nongoma. Songs from Jazztown, excuse me. It was again an all-female cast, and I think that is something that the Market Theatre does a good job of being able to sort of portray every single year and convey to the rest of the people.
Right.
Is it happening enough? I'm not sure. I have no idea what, to be honest, we would need to have something palatable when it comes to that, because I think that so many industries and so many of these of what we do, so many industries are really, really dominated by men, and it's just part of society. But I really, really am happy when I see movements like this that kind of push it to a different trajectory.
Makes sense. The objective of this particular festival is also to try and, I guess, revive the jazzy feel within the Newtown precinct. I'll be very honest, I was there, it must have been this year still, on a completely different agenda. And you can't help but notice how that precinct itself is almost a shadow of its former self, eerily quiet. Something like this, do you reckon it could go far enough in trying to, again, inject some kind of life and movement that we all know the Newtown precinct to actually represent?
Totally. I absolutely think it's the right move, and I will agree with you that we've had a bit of time in terms of watching the precinct actually really flourish. I was very lucky to be around in some of those years when that was happening, and it was like my sort of foray into the professional realm of jazz music. So I'm very happy to have had those experiences. But as you say, it's nothing like what's going on today. I have to say, what I can add is the fact that, apart from the fact that maybe that was happening in the precinct, the last year and a half has not helped the arts by any means. So not only did we have a situation where it was already, an everyday struggle to try and keep the precinct alive and just make sure that the arts is being totally celebrated in a space like that. But I think once the lockdown hit And with the way that we, unfortunately, as a sector, are being ignored by the government, I have no idea what this means for the future of jazz.
All the more reason, I guess, to try look forward to this particular festival. You're among the women who are going to be on this all-woman lineup. What can we expect?
I would say for my performance, people can expect some new music. I've been writing intensely with fervor over the last few months, and I think that that's a great thing. But definitely some new music in terms of those who know Siya Makuzeni material. I would hope that everybody can be able to come and lose themselves in their experience when they come on the 21st of August.
Yeah. The real concern, of course, is that there are some individuals who may very well want to be part of this but don't feel safe to do so because of things like the pandemic. How can they be, I guess, contributors to the audience, if in any way at all?
Thank you for asking that. And absolutely, it's a very valid question. I think that, firstly, for those who would like to come to the show, it's very important to know that the Market Theatre will adhere and follow all protocols when it comes to the situation that we have with COVID and the pandemic. But there are also online tickets which will be available. I think that people can actually go onto Market Theatre's website, and you should be able to book tickets for an online series that will also be taking place. I'm not sure how long it's supposed to run for, but if I'm not mistaken, I think it will be active and available to people for at least the month after the actual performance.
All right, that's good to hear. Well, thanks very much indeed for your take. Something to look forward to. Hopefully a lighter story for many of us who've been dealing with all kinds of, call it, heavier content in the weeks gone by. Let me thank you for speaking to us as well. Siya Makuzeni is a composer, a music producer, and a vocalist as well. She'll be part of the Jazzy July Festival running from the 14th to the 28th of August. I think she said her performance is on the 26th. Once again, Siya, thanks very much indeed.